Chapter 1, Paragraph 1. I'm sitting, partially lying, on a couch in my co-op apartment. Well, I'm in the middle of mitigating the water damage since a water line broke up on the 11th floor just about a week before Christmas. And there's a giant dehumidifier running, as well as two big loud fans. It's crazy, the amount of sound and the amount of noise. It's unnerving. But I had to come home and deal with it for reasons I'll explain momentarily. My physical world is in a disarray, with the furniture all out of place and the carpet half rolled up, and I have to straighten it all up and get things organized. So I grab a bag, load it up, run it to the dumpster, yank down the Christmas tree, pull off the lights, neatly tuck it back in a box so I could finally breathe in an organized space. At first, I had to shut off the obnoxious fans so I could think. And then out of nowhere, it struck me like a bolt of lightning.
Diamonds and daylight, diamonds and daylight, it's clearly what you want. Diamonds and daylight, diamonds and daylight, diamonds and daylight, it's clearly what you want.
Maybe, for a lack of better words, I'm insecure. But I think that there's something deeper, more evolutionary at play. In other words, here we go again. It's all about evolution. The evolution that drives us as a species. Me, in this case, to try to combat loneliness. And of course, sex is a big part of that. So of course, when you feel lonely, you go out and you want to have sex and companionship. And eventually, of course, sex will lead to, oftentimes, offspring. And there we have it. My theory is, your loneliness, when you're outside of a relationship, is an evolutionary trigger, driving you into an emotional response hidden deep inside your brain that pushes you into a powerful desire to hook up, fornicate, copulate, so you can tamp down that loneliness. As those powerful evolutionary drives propel you into these passionate moments that really are nothing more than disguised attempts or disguised efforts to pass your genes on to another generation. It's quite calculated, isn't it? Even though at 60 and arguably well past the point in time when I would even entertain having a child, my body and my brain don't care about that. And either would a woman who, of course, was probably no longer capable or interested in having children. They don't even understand the drives either. They just know that they gotta have it, sex and companionship. Of course, this is just my side of the story, as you can imagine. Many people would disagree with this theory, that we're just evolutionary creatures acting on evolutionary drives to pass our genetic information on to the next generation. In fact, I've been told that there is something even more mysterious and much, much more powerful at work. Some would call it God. Others, I'm sure, have other names for it, but generally, I've been told that it's a force that brings two people together. Now, I don't see any evidence of this, but who knows? I just gotta say, I find it awfully ironic that some mystical force is said to have brought people together, but as far as I can tell, the truth is, it's really just things like Match.com. And there's nothing mystical or magical about that. It's actually work and effort and turning the page dozens and dozens of times to find somebody that just might be tricked into liking you and you being tricked into liking them. And while I am on the topic, I suppose it would be better for people to be much more clear in their dating profiles, or even create a very simple website only for people that are clear that their final goal is and always will be and only wants to be married. I just wish they wouldn't dance around it. I wish they wouldn't suck you in with the first 3-4 dates and then start to slip that and just come right out with it. You want to be married as soon as possible. And while we're on the topic of marriage commitments and all that jazz coming from a guy that's been looking down the barrel for the last 6 to 8 months, I gotta tell you, I see nothing spiritual about marriage, especially at the age of 60. In fact, I see it as the complete opposite of a spiritual union. For me, a spiritual union would be one that transcends beyond a written contract and a $25,000 diamond ring attached. A true spiritual connection would have none of that. A diamond ring is nothing more than a public display marking your territory. And marriage is nothing more than a written document or a contract that binds two people together. It's like you just did a business transaction. What's so spiritual about that? I do believe in some sort of a ceremony, though. One where you would announce to everybody from the top of a mountain that you and your partner are going to be living together. And if you choose to have children, you agree that you are going to raise them, you're going to pay for them, and you're going to teach them to help to prepare for life on Earth.
In 200 feet, take a left.
Don't make me explain myself. Please, don't do that. My mother called from the hospital. She's been stricken with bronchial pneumonia. I dropped everything and booked a flight out of Tweed, so I'm headed there. The only way to justify the complete disaster I just made out of Christmas was to take the bike to the airport, get a little physical fitness out of it.
I guess it's only fair to give you a little history about my experience with marriage. Back in about 1995, after repeatedly trying to break up with each other, get back together with each other, break up again, back to on and off, since about 1988, I finally got married to the woman who I had been bouncing in and out of my life. And we didn't even make it a year. And I said, geez, I'm sorry, this was wrong. I gotta go. And we didn't even get divorced. I just left. A big part of it was I wanted to make sure she had medical benefits and I had a job. So she could be protected and she would be cared for. That was my motivation. I was about 30 years old. Do you see how absolutely crazy this is? Like, get married now so you can have medical benefits in some cases. I know I'm not the only one. We really didn't even talk about having a family. Of course, that came quickly, but we did not end up having a child together. Sad story, miscarriage.
You've spent your whole life perfecting yourself, so the only way you can lock that down is to get someone to marry you so they have no way to avoid you without a legal battle. You just have FOMO, and you don't value your own company. You just have FOMO, and you don't value your own company.
And then it just dawned on me as I circle back. In a previous relationship that never really got off the ground, the poor thing was so nervous, she got so drunk on her first date, she passed out cold. Nothing ever happened, and the thing was DOA. I don't drink, and I certainly don't want to be with someone that can't master the most simple skill and cardinal rule on your first date. Don't get so drunk that you pass out before any good stuff can happen. Anyways, equally as disturbing with this relationship was the woman was devoutly religious and had lived much of her entire life as a Jehovah's Witness. And when it comes to marriage, she was convinced that marriage was beyond this lifetime and would extend throughout all of eternity. And I'm telling you, she was serious. Really, really serious. It was going to go on and on and on. Not just this lifetime, not just 100 years from now, not even just 1,000 years. We're talking eternity. Now, I'm not a religious man. As a matter of fact, at one point I was a card-carrying atheist. In a younger year. Currently, I'm not. But she was so beautiful, I figured, maybe I could give this a try anyways. Maybe we could have some fun while she's trying to convince me to become a Jehovah's Witness. Whether or not I would ever do it, of course, that's impossible. I would never do it. But I would actually go through all the motions, and then eventually we would probably break up because there was no chance of it. And she was too smart for that. And as it all turned out, it never went anywhere. But again, the fascinating thing here is that women also are convinced. I don't know of any men, but women seem to be convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that marriage is for all of eternity. Where did you get this from? Why did guys not get this? I believe it all circles back to evolution. and the power to create and regenerate ourselves. There's 8 billion of us on the planet. This is why there are so many people. We are driven by the genetic desire to pass on our genes.
You might want to be upfront about the fact that you're a human pinball and that you tend to make extreme decisions all by yourself sometimes, like buying co-ops or flying off to the Bahamas all by yourself for the holidays, things like that. They won't believe you at first, but at least they're forewarned.
Good morning, honey. Seriously, my God, I've had every test known to man. 20 tons of breathing treatments. They're going to do more tests all day and should be going home tomorrow. No need for you to fly down. Dear God, honey. You know me. I would tell you. I would tell you. Please, please, it's a week before Christmas, for God's sake. I am going to be fine, honey, okay? They won't let me out of here unless I'm fine. And I feel like a human pincushion, I'm telling you. Okay, honey, I love you, but please, 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 don't do that, honey. There is no need, okay? I do know, I knew when I needed the kids, cousins to take me, it was that bad. But look at, breathing fine. I will get through this, but you, honey, I only feel good if I know you're good, okay? I love you, baby. Okay, honey, but please don't come, please. Okay, I love you, honey. Bye-bye.
I love you. Nana loves to see these little pictures and stuff.
Okay.
Please understand that it's important for her. I think these little images, they keep her alive.
That's a horrible thing to say, Dad.
Well, she's not doing that well, But anyways, I just had this idea. I'm sitting here, I'm going out of my mind, and I'm thinking to myself, people really pay more attention to people that are wearing suits and whatnot, so I'm going to kind of trick them. I'm going to do this little show where I put on a suit and a tie and I stand in front of like a podium, and I'm standing up in front of a group of men, and I'm basically going to start up with, gentlemen, you are being hunted by women. That's right, you're being hunted right now.
Dad, if you do that, people are going to call you a right-wing conspiracy theorist, and the internet will make fun of you till you die.
You are being hunted, and it's not just for this lifetime. They want you for all of eternity, because when they convince you to put a ring on them, it's not just for this lifetime. It's forever and ever and ever. And
Dad,
so
there's this thing called divorce.
it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter.
I think it does.
They want to take it all the way. And so I can't find any situations where men behave that way, but women are absolutely convinced. They're obsessed with it. There's this habit. It's almost like this Disney princess thing.
These are some very old ideals, Dad. I wouldn't start spewing in public.
Old ideas?
Yeah.
All right. We'll keep it quiet between us. So I have a theory, and I believe it's something that we could explore deeper in the future. But right now, if you have passionate desires in life and you don't have the courage to pursue them, what happens is time slows down, right? And it feels like, oh my God, the clock is just pull, pull, pull. It's so slow. Remember when you were in school, when you were younger, oh my God, when is this going to be over? Algebra. Oh my God, oh my God. But now, when you have access to your own world and there's nobody else really truly binding you to be either in a classroom right now or whatever, then you have an opportunity to go after the things that truly make you happy and passionate. And so my theory is that when time goes extraordinarily speedily, it goes very, very, very fast because you're doing what you want. A lot of people say, wow, the time went by so fast. But contrary to what you would think, when that's like, oh my God, I woke up one day and, I was going to die. No, I believe you're living, in some senses, many, perhaps dozens of lifetimes within the same years, or the time period of, say, 85 years. People live about 85 years. Well, let's just imagine what's 85 times 10. You could be living what's equivalent to 810 years if you're constantly just going after the things that you are passionate about.
I also enjoy sleep.
Okay.
Bow wow.